Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Welcome to Bothering the Band. My name is Ryan Bynek. With me, as always, is the tea drinking producer of this shit, Abigail Ann Levy. Abby, say hi to the people.
Hello to the people.
Oh man, I know both sides of you. And one time I want the feisty, loud Abby to come out when you say hello to the people. Anyways, we have a great show today. We have the one and only Pete Yorn, and this episode is just truly magical from start to finish. Everyone go listen to his new album, Hawaii. Listen to his song, Opal, from the previous album. Thanks to his PR person, Claire, for making this a reality. Ladies and gentlemen, Bothering the Band with Pete Yorn.
Hey you guys, how are you?
What's going on? Welcome to Bothering the Band, Pete.
Hey, nice to see you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so my name's Ryan. This is Abby. We're beyond excited, and I'm just gonna throw it out there first and foremost. You're talking to a couple of 90s kids, so Strange Condition just hits, and we're beyond honored to have you on the pod.
Well, I'm honored to be here, and I appreciate you having me. So very cool.
Yeah, and thanks to Claire and for hooking it up.
Claire's the best.
We kind of fly by the seat of our pants here, you know. We've only won a couple Pulitzers for music journalism, so now we can do whatever we want.
We gotta add a third one to that list.
How's your day, Pete?
My day, I can't complain. It's a nice day. It's a good day. Hung out with my puppy. I got a haircut. My wife was like, my hair was really long earlier today, and my wife, it was like down to here, I think, like all one length, crazy. And my wife was like, "That's it. You need a cut. You're getting a cut." And I was like, "All right, fine, I'll do it." So I cut it off today, but it grows fast. So I'll come back.
Well, I'm happy you brought that up, because we actually have one question: is long hair or short hair, Pete?
Both. I mean, for me or for people?
There are no rules. There are no rules to your answers on Bothering the Band, so I'll leave it up to you.
I think if for anybody, if you can go in phases, you could have a long hair phase, short hair phase, mix it up. That's what I do. It's funny. I had really short hair when I was a teenager, and up until freshman year of college, I was like obsessed with Morrissey, and I kind of like wanted to have that cut, It never really looked like that. It looked more like Vanilla Ice or something like that. But then I get to college up in Syracuse, and I start growing my hair out. I remember I was like, I want hair like Ethan Hawke or something like that. I was like, I want that like kind of long, cool hair. I remember thinking, and I see pictures of me sophomore year where I had grown out like that, and then it got crazy long, and I had it long for a while. And then I kind of got roped. Once I like put my music out, I kind of got roped into this one hairstyle that I had, in most of my pictures. And I kind of kept it for a long time. And then during the quarantine pandemic, my hair got just really grown out long, like almost like down to here. And when I had to get it cut, it was for a movie where it takes place in the 1920s, and it was a period piece. And so I had to just shave it, cut it all off. And that was fun. And it was really, I came home back to the hotel, and my wife saw me, and she was like, "Ah!" And my little girl, my daughter, was with us too, and she was like, "What the heck did they do to you?" And I was like, it's for a movie." And but it was liberating in a way. It was like I had fun with it. People, my friends would see me, and I posted a picture of it, but I didn't really say what it was for at the time. And they were like, "What the fuck?" They were like, they'd never seen me over 20 years look different. And it was fun. But then that grew back eventually, and now here we are with kind of like my standard hair right now, a little shorter but standard look.
Standard Pete.
And I shaved it. I had a beard going like you too, but it was starting to get too itchy, I get that little like in between moment where I'm like, it's starting to drive me crazy, and I just had to take it off. So yeah.
So how are you and where are you?
I'm well. I'm in Los Angeles, California, at my house. I'm home,
Cool.
yeah, right now, and
You
I'm
got a
good.
cool painting behind you.
Oh, thanks. That's called "The Weed That Won the West," and that is by an artist named Eric Ernest Johnson.
Wow,
And
cool.
he's an old friend of mine, and yeah, I love it. I like it.
Shout out to Eric. He's a big listener.
He might be.
Eric Ernest Johnson. I wrote that down. I can't wait to check out his stuff. I'm gonna dive into the dumb shit. Well, are there any ukulele notes on Hawaii?
There's not one hint of ukulele on Hawaii.
We're just kidding. We know. We've listened to that record front to back.
Well, it's a reasonable question, though. You know,
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you something else. The cover, the water, it's not Hawaii. Mind. Prepare for minds to be blown. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I know what it is. Abby, I think, knows what it is as well. But tell the people what it is.
It's a pool in the back in the San Fernando Valley, Los Angeles area. Yeah, it's just a pool. And if you flip it over, you realize that at the back of the album cover, if you're playing detective, you know, it shows that there is a picture of a pool on the back. But some people don't put it together that was, you know, what it was.
I like that. I like that little anecdote, and I must say that the album is fantastic, man.
Thanks.
It's truly amazing. I love it. Which leads us to our next question. How do you describe your music?
That's a good question. You know, I used to say, you know, to keep it simple for people, I was like, there's like a blend between, you know, like Springsteen and Morrissey, or, you know, or something like that, or New Order, like, you know, because I grew up in Jersey, and I always loved, you know, I didn't love Springsteen growing up, but I loved everything British. I loved Britpop and the Smiths and the Cure and New Order, Joy Division, all that stuff, as you guys probably know. And I remember early on having fun blending that together with like acoustic guitars and roots, American roots rock or Canadian roots rock, you know, Neil Young or like Son Volt or REM and kind of playing with that kind of hybrid sound a little bit. So that's what I used to say. And then I don't know, I get more focused on lyrics now and what I tried to say over the years. And you know, a lot of it goes over people's heads, man. You know, like I've always been drawn to like not, you know, sometimes I really feel like I want to spell things out clearly, and other times I make these records that they're really kind of esoteric and cryptic with the way that I phrase words and the words that I choose. And it was funny, yesterday I was in the studio with Jackson, who I made, you know, Caretakers in Hawaii with, and I had a phrase I wanted to say. I said I had written it down. Home is something, you know, there's the cliche of home is where the heart is. And I couldn't say it. I wanted to, I was like, I can't say this. It's like a cliche. So I said like home is where you're part of, or where the part is, or something like that. And I was like, well, that's just dumb. That doesn't make any sense. I'm like, you know what, Pete, you're so fucking esoteric sometimes. Just go with the cliche. It might just, in the context of everything else and the other vagueness that you're going to present, no matter what, it might be good to have a little tent pole of a cliche line thrown in there once in a while. And I did put it in there. Now it's kind of like my favorite line in the song. Home is where your heart is. And it kind of makes the story of the song make more sense to me now in a weird way. And so my instinct there was to like lean into it, because the rest of the stuff I knew would take it away from there anyway. And I'm rambling. I'm on a whole. I don't even know what the hell you asked me. But no, you asked me how would I describe my music. That's what you asked me.
I think you did a good job. I think you took a left turn, but I applaud it all.
My brain takes many left turns. it processes it, and then it floods, and then it goes in lots of different directions. Yeah.
Well, you are in the right place, and don't put a filter on that for this podcast.
I listened to some of the David Cross interview today,
Oh, cool.
and
Thanks.
I love David Cross, and it was a fun interview, and I mean, he's hilarious. I'm like a big old Mr. Show fan, and I just know the genius of David Cross, and it was so cool that you guys had him on the show. But it was so funny how much he hates Florida.
Yes.
He's just going off. I don't even think it was shtick. Like, I think he's very clear about his politics and all that, and that's cool, and I love that. But I think he just hates Florida, and I could see maybe some of his stand-up routine might, if he has like some of the wrong people there. But why would they be at a David Cross show? They might not know what they're getting themselves into, I guess. Yeah, he's awesome. That was cool to hear.
Oh my goodness! Thank you so much for listening to that. That was incredible. Like a huge. We grew up also Mr. Show fans, and I can't believe like everything came together for that episode to happen. And then he did our live episode in New York.
Oh, when you guys went up there?
Yeah, we did a live episode in Brooklyn last July, and he graciously rode his bike and joined us for the fun.
Nice, because yeah, you were talking about you were going to New York, and it was going to be. Are you the same producer? Is that you? Yeah,
That's me.
And it was going to be your first time in New York.
It
I
was.
think. Yeah. Did you enjoy it? You had a good time?
It was a really good time. I had a lot
Great.
of fun.
Yeah, it's a great city. It's awesome. Yeah.
I consider it home. That is a great city. We did Los Angeles, your neck of the woods, in May of last year. So that was
Where'd you do it?
Hotel Cafe.
Oh, yes. Yes.
It was loads of fun. And I mean, Los Angeles is so much fun if you can fart around and do cool music stuff. So
Yes, absolutely. I had lots of fun here over the years. Yes.
okay. Let's keep this train a running. What are your mornings like?
My mornings are beautiful. I'm pretty these days. I go to bed early and I get up early because I got a little 7-year-old daughter who's in first grade, and I got to get her to the bus stop by 7:40. The bus will oil spot her if she's not there by 7:40 a.m. And if not, then I can take her right to school and get her there by 7:45, 8. But yeah, I like to go to bed early, and I get up early with her and my wife and have a cup of coffee, get her to the bus, come home, and then try and get a workout in, like at least Monday through Saturday, jumping rope. And
Yeah, we saw your
it's featured in the Elizabeth Taylor video. That's it. That's it.
We saw it.
Yes, absolutely.
Good form.
That was like, oh, I'm doing this again. But yeah, and then once I do that, a lot of times, like if my wife has a jewelry company. She makes beautiful jewelry, and a lot of the stuff gets handled downtown. So a lot of times I'll drive her downtown and get a parking ticket waiting for her. They give parking tickets now, like they used to, like if you're like parked in like a red zone, but you're in your car and it's running, or you're parked like somewhere you're not supposed to be, like someone will knock on your window, hey, move it, or they'll like give you some warning. Now 2 times this has happened. All of a sudden I get in the mail at my business office, they just give you the ticket, like no warning, no, they'll just nail you. So now I've learned my lesson.
Is it like a camera that sees?
Maybe it's a camera, maybe, I don't know. All I know is there's no one like coming up to me saying here or saying move or anything. They'll just pinch you and you'll get it in the mail. So, it's rather ingenious. And I'm not going to do that. I learned my lesson from that. But yeah, cruise her downtown, sometimes go to the studio, just depends like what's kind of happening in my life at the time. But the typical day, the main thing, make sure I get my ass up, get my girl to school. That's the main goal. So
I know that game. I have an 8-year-old daughter, and I get up very early to do a bunch of work before taking her to school. So I get up at like 5 and then take her to school at 8.
wow,
Um,
that's great. That's
yeah,
that's like stoic shit, like getting up early like that. They say like before that there's this opportunity if you don't mind getting up early. My wife's up super early too with the puppy, the puppy as well. But if you don't mind that like time before the world really starts going, you can get a lot done. It's like these magic early hours.
yeah.
So that's great that you're able to do that.
Yeah, I get a lot of bothering the band stuff done. And then before and then after I take her to school, then I'll do, my day job, which is also writing. But yeah, get all the fun stuff done in the morning. I'm very creative in the morning. I know I'm going to let Abby ask a puppy question. And then I have another question as well.
What kind of puppy is it?
There
It's
we go.
it's a miniature Australian Labradoodle. So she's just like like a fancy mutt,
Mhm.
really. She's apparently she's nothing Australian about her except the breed was created in Australia to be a hypoallergenic guide dog. So she doesn't shed at all. I haven't seen one hair except when like maybe when she gets brushed a little bit, but that's pretty rad. But she's so sweet and she wouldn't be a good guard dog. If someone broke in, she would like just roll over, be like, rub my belly, rub my belly. But amazing. Like my wife and my daughter really wanted this pet. I've never had a dog. I didn't grow up with dogs. I had some fish. Yeah, but my wife had like 7 Rottweilers up in Connecticut where she grew up. So she was used to having a lot of animals. And she really wanted to be able to have for my daughter to have a pet like that. And I uh, I resisted it for some time because I'm kind of a commitment phobe. And now it's the greatest thing. I'm so like I love this dog so much. And she's the best. She just got spayed. It's been a week it was a week on Monday, so there's a few more days. She's got like a cone around her head right now, and she can't run around yet. And we're trying to keep her chill, because they said it's like 10 days to 2 weeks at least, like keep her mellow. So I feel bad for her because she has so much pent up energy, uh,
Mhm.
and so it's tough. I can't wait till she's fully healed up and it's going well, and then we could start running around again because she needs it.
She's gonna have some crazy zoomies that first
Yeah.
day.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, that's it. So, two things. One, what's the name of your wife's jewelry company? Give it a shout out.
Shout out to Elizabeth Bell. Elizabeth Bell with an S, not a Z, jewelry, and she makes beautiful stuff. A lot of one of a kind stuff. A lot of works with like a lot of opals. Um, a lot of I think it was the inspiration for my song Opal, which I have a song called Opal on Caretakers. But yeah, she's been doing it for like I want to say like in a flash, it's been over 10 years, I think, and she was a model for years and did really well with that growing up. And at some point it was like, all right, well, moving on. And she decided to get into this jewelry business, and she's done really well with it. And so I like helping her out too. Like when I'm home, if I'm not on tour, I'm here, I'm like, let's go. I'll drive you wherever you like. I love driving her downtown. And like, I used to go in all the time and see all of her manufacturers and watch her pick stones and all that stuff is always very interesting to me. And I just love being her, little assistant. I love it. And her chauffeur. It's great. Yeah.
I was gonna say wingman, but I'll let you go with your
Well, that's her
definition.
nickname. Her nickname is Bird, so it's a good name, Wingman.
Oh, there you go, man. You can use that. Don't even give us credit. I was also. What movie were you in?
Um, I still won't name the movie. If you dig around, you might be able to find it because I still don't. I'm not like superstitious. I'm like I'm going to end up on the cutting room floor, and I'm never even going to be in it. But I will say it's a 1920s kind of a western. Tell an important chapter in history, kind of an ugly chapter in American history, and it's supposed to come out, hopefully in the late spring. So I hear that I'm in it. I hear that I made it, but it's still too early for me to shout it out, so I won't do it yet.
Okay. Can I ask? Do you have lines?
Yes,
Okay.
I do all. I do all such a cool stuff in it. It's not a huge role or anything like that, you know. But it's something when it does come, and if it does work out, you'll see like, oh, I get it. Like it's kind of epic, and so I'm excited about it. But I don't want to jinx it yet. So
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. You had mentioned your song Elizabeth Taylor. It's a great song. And now we're talking movies. I have a question. What's your favorite Elizabeth Taylor film?
Hmm.
And I know the song is a metaphor, blah, blah, blah. Throw that out the window. We're talking superficialities here.
Yeah, I can't, I mean, I'm not like some Elizabeth Taylor film buff to be honest. I'm not going to pretend that I am. And there's a different reason the reference of that is in the song, which I think you understand. But I will say, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf is fucking crazy fucking movie. And I believe that was pretty intense. So I'll go with that answer for now.
That's a good one. Have either of you, and Abby, you can chime in here, ever seen Butterfield 8?
I've never seen it, but I heard it's great. And there's a beautiful one sheet of that at my friend's house. She's had it on the wall for years, and I always see it. And I'm always like, that's a really cool, like the movie poster, of it. And it has really cool font. And yeah, it's like Dial Butterfield 8 or something like that.
Yeah. So yeah. I love the book, and it's not, obviously it's not the same, but it still holds up. Still holds up.
I gotta check the movie out.
Yeah, it's so good. And this is prime Liz Taylor too. She's stunning. She's
she's younger in that. Like
she's doing some great work. Highly recommend. Okay, we'll stick with the pop culture here. Flintstones or Jetsons?
I love both, but I'm gonna go with Flintstones. Flintstones just go a little deeper. And that Barney Rubble is a heck of an actor.
So as you may be recognizing, some of these questions seem random, but they are tailored to some lyrics, some song titles, some album titles.
Even that sentence you just said, or they're tailored to, you just bring it all home there.
Yeah. That's how we won our Pulitzer, just little Easter eggs like that. Okay, this is my favorite question. Are you at all, and you can be honest, a little steamed at Pete Bjorn?
The Peter, Bjorn, and John?
Yeah.
At Steve? What was it like?
Steamed, like peeved.
No, I'll tell you a story. I mean, I don't know if you've heard it or not, but back when they were really popular, like when the young kids, young folks. No, that's the other band. Wait,
Pumped Up Kicks or whatever.
No, Pumped Up Kicks is okay. It was Young Folks. Yeah. How'd you know the song that I was thinking I was confusing it with? That was a good pull.
Is what we get paid the big bucks to do, and no.
That's crazy, dude. Okay, so Young Folks is out, and I really like the song. And then at some point, I was touring a lot back then, and people started like sometimes would be like, "Yo, man, like, what's your name?" Like, "Oh, I'm Pete Yorn." Or like, "Oh man, I love that tune," And some people would know who Pete Yorn was, but that song was much more popular than anything I'd put out at the time. And they're like, "Oh, I love that Young Folks song," and they didn't mean it, like anything. I was like, and so it happened enough times that I was like, fuck, I'm just gonna start covering this song. And so
nice.
I started covering. You could find it on YouTube. There's a few videos of it around, but I was like, I'll just start covering it for fun. And I would tell that story and say, it's like, yeah, people keep asking me about this song, so I figure I might as well play it because I loved it. And it was so fun to sing. I remember I would like drop the guitar for it, and I would just sing with the mic, like handheld, which is something I rarely do. And I remember one time, I think it was Austin City Limits Festival. We were actually playing, I think, against each other. They were not against, but they were like literally on at the same time on a different stage. And I don't know if I realized that or not, but I played it there. And we had some fun with it for a little moment. And it was a little color to the show. It was like, oh, we can talk about that. And because back then I didn't talk much anyway on stage. I didn't really. Now I like jabber away on stage. I'll talk like too much. And back then I think I just stared at my shoes more often. So I had something to say. I was like, oh, there's a story I can tell about this song and why we're playing it. And we did a pretty good version of it. It was around 2006, I feel like, something like that. 2006, 2007 in there. 2007 maybe. And we played the hell out of it. Yeah.
Oh man, that's incredible. Thanks for thanks for being a good sport about that super dumb question. And we can top it. How do you eat your corn? Corn
That's
on the
a,
cob.
that's a good question. Usually just on I used to be into, as a kid, the little spears that go in there.
The little
Uh,
the corn designed spears.
yeah, we had those. I still have those now. My daughter loves corn, but now she eats it like you get these giant frozen bags of organic corn, like off the cob, like just the kernels, uh, from like Costco or whatever. And she pounds that stuff like every day, like corn, corn. She'll just eat a whole bowl of it with like, I'm like, you don't need any butter that's so sweet as it is. And my dad used to say the same thing to me when I was little. And I'm saying the same thing to her, but
Oh wow.
she wants the butter and the salt. I'm like, all right, whatever you want, whatever. But yeah, I just eat like if it's cob, I'll just, I don't need the holder so much, just eat it. But I like corn, and it rhymes with Yorn, of course. So
I
yeah.
know we're so transparent.
Yep.
Uh, I asked that. This is also just an excuse for me to tell. Like, I don't like, same with apples. I like apples sliced and eat them small. Corn, if like I was at a barbecue and you were giving me corn on the cob, I would cut it off because it gets all in my teeth. Sensitive
Yeah,
teeth.
it still probably gets in your teeth, even if you cut it off, right? A
I
little
know, but
bit.
it's not. You're not like grinding it off with your chompers, you know.
Yeah. I just sliced an apple up like right before this actually.
Okay,
Uh,
what color? We have to know. Everyone needs to know what color, what kind of apple.
it was a red organic Fuji apple, I think from
Nice.
Rainier, maybe it said on the sticker. I actually was paying attention to the sticker when I took it off, and I did not peel it. I just washed it good, sliced it up, and she wanted some honey on the side to dip it in. I was like, okay,
Nice.
nice bowl.
It's like
So
Rosh Hashanah.
it was like
Uh,
Rush. It was like Rosh Hashanah all over again. You got it, kid.
yeah, yeah. I was gonna say, so we had, who was it, Abby, on the pod that was, we asked a dumb Apple question and then they went off. I think it was like Jacko Pierce.
Oh my gosh,
Uh,
I remember them.
yeah, you remember them? And
Yeah.
they went off and they were very hyper specific about certain apples to buy. It was very, very funny, and it makes it, you never know what dumb question is gonna
Well, some people, yeah.
click.
Like when I was growing up, it was like Macintosh was all we had. Like,
Yeah.
and my wife loves Macintosh, and they're kind of not so out in California. You could find them. Um, but yeah, a good apple sometimes is very nice. Very nice.
Oh, of course. Does your daughter dig the bus?
She doesn't mind it. She likes
Okay.
it. It's a really short ride to
Yeah.
school, and it's a long bus, but it's just the lower school. Like her school is a K to 12, but it's her bus is like kind of considered, it's like they call it the like local shuttle because we live close, but we're not supposed to drive her up to school technically. So she takes that, and it's just lower school kids. So there's no like, older kids throwing ham sandwiches at her head or nothing like that. But yeah, she doesn't mind it. She likes it. And there's a lot of nice sweet kids. Everyone's really sweet and nice, and it seems like a nice community.
I love the bus. They don't where I'm at, they don't even, you have to live very far to ride the bus. And so we're relatively close and I just get her and we walk. Which brings me to my next question. Have you taken your daughters to see the new Puss in Boots film?
Good question. My
I
she just saw it a few days ago. Probably it was a Monday no, not Monday, maybe Sunday. My wife took her. We live really close to a theater and we could walk there. So my wife took her to see it, and I heard it was a little scary. Was like
It
this.
has its moments. Yeah, yeah.
There was this wolf in it.
Yeah.
She liked it, but I was like, was Puss funny? Like normally, because like I've seen some really funny stuff with Puss in Boots. Like there's this short that's hilarious from
Mhm.
Swamp Stories that's really funny. And she said, yeah, it wasn't so funny. She's like, there was this wolf. I was like, was it scary? She was like, yeah, it was a little bit creepy. She's like, I jumped in my seat a couple of times. Yeah, I was like this. Yeah, yeah. And she like just like that. Yeah.
It's
And I was like,
adorable.
but yeah, she liked it. I don't think she loved it though.
Is she well, okay, so because you just said that, I know when my daughter loves something, we have to talk about it for the next like 6 days. It's just nonstop. And yeah, same thing. Took her to see she liked it, but then the next day it's like it didn't exist. She moved on.
Yeah.
Whereas right now we just recently watched Father of the Bride, holds up, and she cannot get enough of it's just constantly she's putting it on, and that's all we've been talking about.
Is that the Steve Martin movie?
Steve Martin Short, Diane
Oh yeah.
Keaton, yeah, and very silly. Like I said, holds up, classic in my opinion.
I remember at the time loving that movie. Is that the
Yeah.
one? Oh no, that's Parenthood probably. I confuse. Is he in Parenthood too?
Steve Martin is in Parenthood.
Which is
And
the one where
Keanu Reeves is in Parenthood.
he was like a young troubled teen dating
Yeah.
the girl, yeah, like Martha Plimpton maybe or something. I forget how they
I think so. Yeah. Fun
Yeah.
fact, Abby, Parenthood filmed in our hometown of Orlando, Florida.
Oh, excellent.
Did not know
Which is
that.
the one where Steve Martin rides at like some party on the little horse and he falls off and he jumps up. He's like, I'm okay. I'm okay. I think that must be
it's
Parenthood.
Yeah,
Probably
'cause
Parenthood. Because
they do a party like a petting zoo party.
yeah, I think it's a kid's
Netflix.
party, so that would make sense. And
Yeah.
the father of the bride is the one where who's that actor who played Balky? That he calls the cake cock. He's like the cock, right? Is that part of the bride?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Can you tell the people why I asked the Puss in Boots question? And also, does your daughter know?
Does my daughter know what?
Don't you have a song on one of the Shrek soundtracks?
Shrek 2. Yeah, she does know.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, she
Bringing
loves
it all
she
back.
loves Shrek 2.
Yeah,
And she
that
loves
must be
Shrek 1.
pretty cool to have your dad be like, "Oh yeah, that's my cover." Is it? It's a cover too, right? It's a Buzzcocks cover or something.
Yeah, it's a Buzzcocks cover, and
Nice.
it was a long time ago now, but it's funny that song. I think maybe because I don't know if Shrek 2 is like has a renaissance on the streaming services or it's being shown a lot globally now, but like we put that for some reason my version of the song wasn't available on like Spotify and Apple Music. There was some weird thing, and we finally were able to get it up there because people kept asking. They're like, why can't I ever listen to it anywhere except YouTube? And so we got up there, and it's like easily, like currently, not all time, but one of my most popular songs like right now.
Yeah, currently.
Yeah, it's like definitely like you looked at like last 28 days of stream, that's like the number one. Like it's like just like crushing it. And Shazam's too. It's like, it's funny getting all technical, but what I'm talking about. It's like it gets Shazam like in Mexico City like 10,000 times. Like what the heck's going on down there? And I'm like, I gotta go out and play that song. They're like, here, never ever fallen in love. Let's go,
Yeah. Oh man, that's pretty cool though.
It's a good song. I love this song.
So do you follow sports at all?
I do a bit, yeah.
Do you still follow Syracuse basketball?
I'm not like super tight as like all the players and like that heavy right now, but I know that, we beat Notre Dame and then we just lost to Florida or Miami or something like the other night. And I know that when we came back against Notre Dame, that Boeheim decided to put all the freshmen in.
Yeah.
And I think there were 4 out of 5 freshmen on the floor, and they came back and won after being down 12. And then the guy who was writing about it said a cool, interesting fact that he said was not hyperbole. Like the average age of the Syracuse team at that time was 21.8 years old, and the average age of like the key core players for the I want to say Oklahoma City Thunder, was 21.6 years. Like they were like the same age as like an NBA team, even though they were
Oh,
all
wow.
freshmen. So I was like, the Oklahoma City team's really young,
Yeah,
basically. I thought it was interesting. But I guess with so many kids just like coming right out of high school now, I guess it's not that crazy to think about. But at the moment, I was like, whoa, you an Orlando Magic fan down there? I see
We are.
behind.
So Abby and I have been friends since middle school, way back in or Central Florida, Orlando, Florida. And my family were like Knicks and Bulls fans. And when I started falling in love with basketball, the Magic were, I mean, everything. Penny, Shaq, and I wanted to distance myself. This was my act of rebellion. Was like, I'm going to be a Magic fan, and it's forever, you know.
Yeah, once you
Also,
get a team, like you just stick with them. Like I've been a Raiders fan since I was a little kid, and I grew up in Jersey. And
Mhm.
everyone's like, "You weren't Giants or Jets?" I'm like, "No, I was Raiders," because my older brothers were, and I just followed whatever they did. Like they were my heroes, and like we just, it was just I just loved them. And in '84, when I was 9, 10, they won the Super Bowl. So it was like, and then I've been let down ever since. It's been horrible. But we're in my sister-in-law lived in Orlando for years. She lived in some it starts with an M. May Park, right near like
Maitland.
Rollins College, Maitland. She lived, and we even went to her wedding there and went to visit her down there, and had a good time. And but since she moved this year up to North Carolina, up to Asheville, so
Oh yeah,
she's not there anymore. But she was living in Maitland for a long time. Yeah.
wild, wild. Abby, you were gonna say something about basketball.
Oh, I was going to say that our average age is about 21.6 as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we got a young, exciting team, just like the Thunder, man. They're looking good. I also have to point out that I said, "Hey, Pete, are you a sports fan?" He goes, not really," and then proceeded to drop some knowledge on us about Syracuse basketball. I love
Well, I'm like compared to my brothers,
it.
like they're like sports fans who know like every player on every team and they're following
Yeah.
every game. And like I'm not that. Like I go deep on the Raiders. I love like the Raiders are like my favorite thing. Like I was telling my friends I'm going to be depressed when football season ends. Like I love NFL. I love college football,
Oh,
but
cool.
but like I don't know every player on every team. But my brothers are like that. Like they know everybody. And so that's what I meant. I was also very into tennis for a while. I used to watch a lot of tennis, and I
Love
know the
tennis.
Australian Open is kicking off right now. And did Nadal actually lose last night, or did he? What happened there? I didn't even
I
know. He was in
I
trouble.
I don't
I,
know, man.
I forgot to follow up on that. It was like right as I was falling asleep. I think my friend was saying something was going on, but I didn't check. But I didn't see any upset. Maybe he came back. I'll have to look it up after. But yeah, I love college hoops. I'm a Knicks fan. They're not bad right now, finally, for a minute. Hopefully they could, you know, uh, be okay for once. It's been a long time, a long suffering with the Knicks and the Raiders. Yeah, I'm a Yankee fan as
Love the
well.
Yankees.
Um,
So I moved to New York right after college, lived there for, a dozen years. Love New York. New York is home. Florida is definitely, like, I try to distance myself. So it's hard not to root for the Yankees, no matter where you come from. I love the Yankees too.
yeah, the Yanks are good. They're a bit frustrating at the end of the season this year.
Yeah.
The Mets are fun too. Like they had a good start and they seemed promising. And I have a lot of friends who are Mets fans. I think I was a Mets fan. That's like the only team that I kind of, as a little kid, it was hard, when I'm in fifth, sixth grade and the Mets have, Darryl Strawberry
Oh
and
yeah.
Gooden and Gary Carter and obviously they won the World Series. It was like that crazy year. Uh, I think it was the Buckner. That was the Buckner thing through the legs, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. Like, all my friends were in my basement watching that, and it was crazy. And so I was a Met fan. Then I kind of got away from it for a while, and then when I came back to it, I probably in like the early '90s, I was a Yankee fan and had some fun with that, and still am still. Yeah. But the season's long. It's like I can't. Like my brothers like they'll get into the season early, like right away. They're like paying attention, and like I can't, it's too long. I can't, like I'll like kind of know what's going on. I'll watch the standings, here and there, but I don't get too invested until it gets a little more serious.
Yeah. I every year I'm more basketball. Every year I'm like, I'm gonna watch every game of the Magic. I'm not gonna admit, and then it's out the window. In baseball, I'm like, if I can watch 5 minutes of a fraction of the game, I'm happy. Or just put it on in the background. I'm happy.
I don't have the attention span so much for baseball anymore, or even a whole game. It's just like I think my phone did something to my brain. Have you heard of this? It's just like my
Yeah.
attention.
Have you heard of phones doing something to brains? Yeah, I've heard of this.
Oh man, I'm just like, oh, I could put it on the background, scroll around,
Yeah.
play
On
the
the
game.
weekends I've been in the height of baseball season, like in the middle, the stagnant times, I'll put it on and read while it's and then anytime I hear the volume go up, I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
something's happening.
yeah. It's a
Yeah.
lot of waiting around.
I try to
But
put the phone down.
yeah, that's why I need more of the later season Jeopardy. Like if you lose, it's a big deal.
Yeah,
But
of
like
course.
football is not like that for me. Though. I could watch every play of a football game. Like
Yeah.
I love it.
Our producer extraordinaire here is a big football fan. She can talk on this subject.
Are you up in Montana or Wyoming? Where are you? Or were you?
I'm in Wyoming.
Okay.
Mhm.
They might ban electric cars in Wyoming.
Yes, this
They,
is
for some reason. I'm not sure why.
strictly to spite California.
Oh, I thought it was because of their damn hippies. That's why.
Yeah.
Automobiles and their
Mhm.
coexist stickers or whatever you were saying. Oh,
Yeah,
silliness.
I only know that because of my friend who always sends me all things to rile me, get me riled up. He sent me an article about that today, and I was like, all right, I'm not biting on this, but why? What's the main city in Wyoming now? Where
Well, it depends on what side of the state you're on. On the east side, it's Laramie and Cheyenne. And on the west side, it's Jackson Hole.
Jackson Hole. Jackson Hole, I heard it's a great place. I heard it's pretty up there.
Very pretty.
Yeah.
Beautiful for a couple months out of the year.
I don't think I've ever, I've been to every state played. I don't know if I've ever played in Wyoming.
Why would you?
I don't know. I mean, it's weird. I think I would have. I played North Dakota, South Dakota. I played Idaho, Washington, Oregon, Utah, Colorado, Florida. Yeah, I've had fun. I was listening to David's horrible experiences in Florida. I'm like, I've had all great shows in Florida. I love playing in Florida. It's just hard. Sometimes you don't want to go down because once you're in Florida, then you're stuck and you got to stay in Florida for a little bit because you got to go. It's like it's this peninsula. You know the deal. But I've always had fun shows there. I had great, nice people. Yeah.
We've written about it and talked about it too, where it's like Florida's tough, where not a lot of you get like the arena bands and you get the like wintering, like what's the word I'm looking for? Old people bands. There you go. Like I love them, but like a James Taylor, or you get like a Pitbull, and that's the middle, the indie, the folky. It's they come, it's everyone, it's all hands on deck, because they rarely come because of, and we've talked about this, it's the touring routes. It's like there's only one way in and one way out.
Yeah. So you gotta if you're playing it smart, you're gonna and if you're gonna drive down to Miami and then just work your way up, because you don't want to have to like work your way down and then work your way back up. But I mean, I guess you could, but kind of work your way. It's silly to even talk about this, but I played Orlando Calling. That was a fun festival. I remember that.
Cool, yeah.
Yeah, that was a good time.
Very cool.
My guitar got lost, and a really nice guy loaned me a guitar, and I'm forgetting his name right now, but he's like a great singer-songwriter, and I'm spacing on his name. What the heck's his name? He's in the Rankin Tours. He knows that. He's like
Jack White.
Jack White. No, not him. The other guy. The other guy.
Who's the other guy?
Brendan.
Yeah.
Yeah. He hooked me up with a guitar to play. I remember he came down. He was like, "Here you go," and just set me up. He was a good man.
Oh man, that's cool. We need to get him on the pod to talk about this.
Yeah, he'd be a good guest.
Okay, was your song "Strange Condition" ever on a shitty WB show?
True, probably true.
So are you getting any like 15-cent royalty checks for like Jack and Jill or Dawson's Creek or I don't know, Felicity?
You don't. I don't look at the fine lines of where it's all coming from.
Okay.
Um, but typically those songs back then. I hate that I have to say back then so much. I'm old now. I'm an old timer. I've been in this game a long time, you guys.
Well, the
I've been
90s are only 10 years ago in
I've
our
been a, I did
minds.
my first record came out in 2001, but I did make it in 1999. But they it's weird that the 90s are like the 60s. Like when I was in, the growing up in the 80s and I think of the 60s, shit, the 90s are more like the 50s then. I can't, all right,
Yeah.
forget it. Forget it.
Don't do it. You're
Mhm.
hurting.
Don't do
us.
it.
It's fucking nuts.
We've done
Uh,
it. You don't want to go down that road.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling. But like, yeah, but, back then they'd pay you like a nice licensing fee, for to use your song, and a lot of people discovered it. There were a lot of those like shows. People like I think just another was in Dawson's Creek, which I never, still to this day, I've never even seen, to be honest. But I know that it was like played in some song where the two leads, like maybe Katie Holmes, another guy, do have a dance or something. That's like a big moment. And now I noticed people talking about it. It got back to me that since it's become popular on Netflix or something, but they didn't relicense all the songs, so they put different music in. Uh, for certain songs, and I'm one of those artists. I didn't even like put it in for the Netflix, which would have been nice. I think people, it would have been a good opportunity for maybe people to rediscover that song.
Yeah.
But yeah, funny.
We're going to move on from the time travel. What kind of peanut butter are you using in the Yorn household?
We don't have any peanut butter. Pretty rarely that we go to it. No one's allergic to it. We like peanut butter. I love it. So that's like a bus thing. I remember on a tour bus, we'd always have peanut butter and jelly, and it would be in our rider. So we'd always just like every night there'd be like a brand new thing of peanut butter. And I actually like crunchy, but I'll do
Okay.
smooth. I'll do smooth too. Typically it was like I grew up with smooth. People usually would make me one with smooth, but if I had my option, there was crunchy around, I'll take crunchy. Uh,
I
and
like that you're calling it smooth.
well, what else do they call it?
What do you
Like,
call it? Creamy.
oh, is it creamy?
Yeah, but I like smooth. Creamy's has like a connotation now like moist, where it's like gross. Uh
Yeah, creamy. I went, yeah,
creamy PB.
yeah. But I used to
Uh
like, that was my go-to on the, like, after a show of getting on the bus, and I would make myself a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and have a big like almond milk or milk, whatever we had. And then I just go pass out, and like every night I'd be like, dude, you can't eat another peanut butter and jelly sandwich. You can't do it again. I'd be like, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I loved them. They were so
I
good.
love it. I'm surprised you do as a dad, because I feel like the one thing when they're like, here's your baby, also here's a gift basket, here's peanut, and it like comes with peanut, unless they're allergic. But it's such a kid staple, It's such a go-to.
That my girl, like, she just loves, her main go-to is tomato cucumbers. You cut up some tomatoes and cucumbers and put some balsamic vinegar and olive oil and a dash of salt. That's what she eats.
That's so California flex right there. Yeah, we're in Florida. We're like, here's some nuggets. See you later.
Yeah, we like that too. She loves her favorite thing. She said she loves the mozzarella sticks at Burger King, and she was like, at some point it occurred to her, she's like, they should rename it Mozzarella Stick King. And I was like, yeah, they should.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Your daughter also sounds like Richard Pryor or something. I don't know. I just had like they should call it Mozzarella Stick King. They have mozzarella sticks at Burger King.
Yeah, they got pretty good ones. Yeah, you get them 4 or 8, I think. And
I'll see you guys later. That's our pod. I'm gonna go get some mozzarella sticks from Burger
she
King.
loves them. Burger King got me. I was eating it a little too much with me and my wife always, even when we first met, we used to bond over the old school long chicken sandwich, the
Yeah.
original chicken sandwich. And we cut it in half, we'd share one. We like loved that sandwich. And I started adding on like a regular cheeseburger too. Like, we'll get the chicken sandwich, but we're splitting it. So let me get a little cheeseburger too, just a straight up burger. And the other day, one got me, and I got like a bellyache for like a week.
Oh, wow.
I think I trace it back to that. Yeah, but
Back in my drinking days, Burger King was the hangover. It was like Dr. Pepper and like a burger and French fries just loaded up.
yeah,
Oh man.
Dr. Pepper goes best with Taco Bell. That was like my jams. Dr. Pepper with Taco Bell like every day for years. I was just like, oh my God, that's the greatest thing ever.
We love some Taco Bell here on Bothering the Band. We had to pick a dream sponsor. I think it'd be Taco Bell. Abby used to work at a Taco Bell.
You did? You worked that there? Yeah, I wrote the song Burrito specifically to try and work that angle. People don't know that.
I love it.
And well, I named it that, and it didn't work out for me on that. I haven't been able to I got to get that in there.
We got to tweet Taco Bell and be like, all right, your new jingle go-to guy is Pete Yorn. And
20 with the 24-hour ones, like, come on over tonight,
yeah.
come on over this morning, let's go. I think it's like, all right, I said I'm doing it later. I'm gonna tweet it.
I'm just saying that the guy that wrote that Whopper jingle is making bank right now, and I freaking hate that song, but it is in my head all day long.
That's what they're designed. They're designed to be earworms, the jingles. Yes.
Yeah. We're having a grand old time. A couple more questions. And Pete Townsend or Peter Frampton?
Townsend all day.
All right. You passed the test.
No offense to Frampton. He seemed cool. I heard him interviewed on maybe Howard Stern a couple of years ago, and he was rad. And he I think he was fighting cancer a little bit, but I think he beat it. But I mean, he had a great career, but I was never that into the music. Even though I think he's a really respected guitar player, like known for that. But Pete Townsend and the Who is, they're just a whole different thing.
Oh, of course. Different animal. That's the correct answer. Again, no judgment on Bothering the Band. There are no right or wrong, but that is the right answer. And I have to ask, because it just hit me, what's the weird mouth thing that Frampton blows into?
Oh, yeah. It's like,
what is that shit?
I forget what they call it. They call it
Stevie Van Zandt did it for a second too.
Wow. Yeah.
Not Van Zandt. Who's Richie Sambora did it. That's who I'm thinking of.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. He did it on like
it's my
prayer.
life. It's now or never.
He did it on a little bit on prayer on prayer on
Living on a Prayer. Yeah.
Living on a Prayer. I want to say Save a Prayer. That's surrender in. Living on a Prayer. I forget what it's called.
I know what.
Oh yeah, help us. What's it called?
It's funny. My parents called and asked me this. They go, music things. We have a question, and it was like a month or so ago. But I do believe that you are talking. It's called the talk box.
That's it. I thought it was. I had a more romantic or technical thing in my brain.
Google that shit. You'll know. 2 seconds.
Box.
Don't ask me. Talk box, man. Maybe it sounds close. Part of me is like, it's close. Something box.
It has a little,
but it might just be
understated stupidity. I mean,
I'm gonna
Google it.
Yeah, it's a talk box.
He said it so like
it's a talk. It's a talk box, and it was the Heil HEIL talk box used for the Frampton Comes Live tour and album.
Yeah.
And then Living on a Prayer.
Living on a Prayer. All right.
Bringing it back to Jersey. When's
the last time you were in Jersey?
This summer.
I like Jersey, man. Jersey, even living in New York, Jersey, this Jersey gets a bad rap, but you go like West Jersey and it's beautiful. It's like woods and shit.
Oh yeah, most people they fly in, they see Jersey City and Newark and by the airport, and it seems kind of like a lot of refineries and smoke and all that, but it's really it's the Garden State, they
It's beautiful.
they
Yeah,
get
yeah.
great blueberries, tomatoes, farms. It's really beautiful, but good beaches.
That's where
Awesome.
your daughter gets her tomatoes from. That's where for
We
her
fly we fly them all
breakfast.
in from Jersey.
We're like, you're a hometown tomato fan. Uh, are you able to? You don't have to do it, and you could just say yes or no. Are you able to text Scarlett Johansson?
Am I able to if I
Yeah.
wanted to? Yeah, of course.
All right.
That's how that's being my way of communicating with her. I don't talk on the phone really at all, except to my mom. I call my mom every day because she gets sick of texting me. But yeah, most people I just text.
Yeah, no, it's just more of a funny thing to be like, you could just text her and Colin Jost right now. I think that's wild. Like Abby, runs the ship here. I always tell her, I'm like, text David Cross, see what he's doing.
Yeah, see what Cross is up to.
Thinking about you. Oh man, that's pretty wild. You got some good tunes with ScarJo. Is that a fun little thing?
Yeah, that was amazing. That was something that was like, I just had this like idea, and I was like wanted to wanted to like press forward with it, and she was down. I caught her at the right time. I caught her at the time where she was like wanted to kind of get in, sing some songs, and
But
we
she's
had a
got a
lot
great
of fun with
voice,
that.
man. So,
Yeah, since then she's gone on like, if you have a kid, those Sing movies that probably like
oh
Sing
yeah.
One, Sing Two. She plays a little porcupine, and she
Yeah.
sings the heck out of all those songs, and she's really come into her own. And but I just always thought she would be a cool singer.
Oh, that's cool, man. That's very cool. Okay. Do you keep your car clean? And there's
Uh,
a postscript to this, inside and or outside.
um, I used to keep it really dirty. Like, in fact, my wife was reminding me of this. She was talking about the other day how when she first met me, my back seat was just tons of garbage and water bottles and empty like fast food bags. Like I would just throw everything back there, and I would never clean it out. And now I do keep my car clean, but more so outside. Like I'm not like I don't get like a detail. I'll just like run it through the car wash where like you can just drive through yourself. And that's
Yeah.
about it. And every once in a while, if it gets a little too dusty up on the dash, I'll clean that off and I'll vacuum. I got a vac. I could vacuum the floor mats and stuff. So
So
I keep it
the
pretty good.
the back seat is not filled with Burger King mozzarella stick wrappers or whatever they come in.
Yeah, no. In fact, we got the sticks the other day, and also I hear clunk, and I'm like, "What?" She's like, "I dropped one," and I'm like, and she dropped it, and then it fell like into the door compartment, and I'm like, "Oh," I'm like, "Oh, we can't leave it back there; it's gonna stink." And I'm driving, and I'm like, and then when we got home, I made sure my wife opens the door, and she's like, "I don't see it." I'm like, "It's in the door, little cutout," and she
Yeah.
grabs it. She grabs it, but yeah, who knows what's on there? Like she has like a little booster seat still.
Oh yeah.
But back in the days when it was like a car seat, I would like have to take once you put those in, you want to take them out. And like when I did finally take them out, like my lease was up or whatever, I'd be like, there'd be so much like crumbs and crap under that seat. I'd be like, oh,
So many
yeah,
pretzels and
yeah,
veggie straws
yeah,
and so many.
yeah.
That's hilarious. Solidarity with that one. Do you follow us on Instagram?
No, but I will now.
Yes, you better. And everyone listening, follow Bothering the Band on Instagram. And yours is just Pete Yorn. No spaces, no underscores. It's his name. He's got the blue check mark.
Follow back. You guys are already following me. I'm following you back. All
Yeah,
right.
man. We know what we're doing.
All right. You got about 1,123 followers. You guys are
We're, do-
kicking off good. I like it.
we're doing all right. We're having fun. That's what this is all about.
I like it. You're anti-racism. That's good. Good look. Everything good. Hey,
Yeah,
is that Pinfield?
that is Pinfield.
I
We're trying to
love
get him on the
Pinfield.
pod.
Want me to text Pinfield?
Yeah, you got Pinfield's number?
I'll text Pinfield. I'll say I did a wonderful podcast with Bothering the Band, and they would love to have you. And now you guys got to reach out.
Oh, that's amazing. Feel free to text ScarJo too if you want to.
I can't promise you she's gonna hit me back, but she's she's a mysterious lady, mysterious girl.
We had the proprietor of a record store in your neck of the woods called Rockaway Records.
Yes. Yeah. Great store. Is it still
Great.
there?
Yeah, they're still there. They're still.
I used to go there back in my in the mid 90s. Go there back. Yeah, good times.
So we had Wayne Johnson, and we found, in an effort to get Matt Pinfield, we found Matt Pinfield wearing a Rockaway Records shirt online. So we put a shirt up. We put a post up of Matt Pinfield wearing the shirt for that episode. And a very convoluted way of saying, "Hey, Matt, do our damn."
Did you have the Rock on?
No.
The owner of Rockaway Records is
Records,
Wayne Johnson.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And one
Thank
of
you,
our
Abby.
questions was, how frequently do you get confused with Dwayne?
Dwayne.
Johnson?
Okay. Yeah, it's a reasonable question. Okay. All right. Well, Justin, I texted Pinfield. I don't know if you can see that there. It looks like it's whiting out, but
Oh my God. What a freaking fantastic thing. Oh my, I'm like,
he'd be fun to have because
Yeah.
Matt, he's like he is, he's an encyclopedia. He's really
he's the
fun.
encyclopedia. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to say, my hands are like sweating right now. I'm like excited, nervous. Oh my goodness. It was like this right before you came on too. I was telling Claire, I was like, oh my goodness.
That's
Pete,
good.
Pete, I think you'll like this question. If you could interview any musician, live or dead, who would you interview? And there's a follow-up question once you say who you're going to interview.
These type of questions, it could be a million different things. But I would say, if I could interview anyone, live or dead, Jesus Christ. Oh my gosh.
Well, this might
Bowie.
help.
Bowie's been interesting.
Bowie seems to be the answer on here. So, in the vein of bothering the band, keeping in mind our silly questions of peanut butter and Burger King, what silly question would you ask Bowie?
The one came right to my head, and it's a stupid question. I'll just say the first one that popped in my head, and it is: are the spiders from Mars?
Perfect. It's perfect.
That's amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of interviews of Bowie pop up on Instagram lately, like clips I've never seen, and he was so like, his instincts about where the internet was heading and just kind of all that stuff are so spot on, and being an artist. And he talks about, you don't want to be too safe as an artist. Like, you want to feel like you kind of went out a little too deep out of your depth, so your tiptoes could just touch the bottom if you needed to, but you're a little floating, like, whoa, like that's a good place to be. You don't want to be too safe and you don't want to be too out of your element, but this little balance there, he talks about that. And I was thinking about that the other day. Yeah, he was very sentient. I don't know if the sentient's probably not the right word, but he was very he predicted what the internet would become and where it would take us, and it's still evolving, obviously. But he said it very early, like it's like an early '90s interview. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And Abby, you wanna chime in here? No. You are not the first guest to bring up that. We know exactly what interview you're talking about, and it is quite mind-blowing. He definitely was an alien and had, these smart perceptions of things, and that one interview you're talking about on YouTube has come up quite a bit on the pod.
Yeah. Well, cool.
Yeah, dude. And final question: what's the future hold for Pete Yorn?
I don't know. You never know, but hopefully it's more good energy, good times with my family, more creative endeavors, more music. Hopefully a return to playing some more frequent live shows, and a good health and happiness for all around.
Oh man, well said. Well said. Everyone listening, do yourself a favor and listen to Hawaii, the new record from Pete Yorn. It is top to bottom amazing. Pete, anything else you want to tell the people about?
Okay, well, I love songs like that, but it's cool. It's cool. Yes, listen to Hawaii, people. Listen to Hawaii.
Listen to Opal. Listen to why. Listen. Yeah, do it.
I believe that my two finest albums are my last two records that I've made. So I encourage anyone who hasn't discovered them yet, who might be stuck on stuff I did 20 years ago plus whatever, to go discover these new records and decide for themselves. And if not, that's cool. But I think they're some of my finest work, and I appreciate the time, you guys.
And go try Burger King's mozzarella sticks.
Absolutely.
Pete, thank you so much for doing our show. This has been incredible, and we had a blast, man. This has been Bothering the Band with Pete Yorn.
Thanks, you guys. Good times.